A regular meeting of the City Council held in Council Chamber on Thursday, April 11th, 2019, 7 o'clock p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on April 9th, 2019 at 10:37 a.m. This meeting is being taped and is live on SATV. Please silence your cell phones. Absent tonight is Councilor Gerard, who's a little under the weather, and we hope that she feels better. Councilor President Dibble presided. Councilor Fiore moved to dispense of the reading of the record of the previous meeting. All those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. I ask that we all rise to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilor Fiore.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilor Fiore.
President, may I request the City Council move to page 13 on the agenda, page 13, motions, orders, and resolutions, please?
Certainly. Councilor Fiore.
Yes, please. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, my fellow colleagues. Tonight is a real night, a celebration of family at its very best. We recognize and respect the role and responsibility of Tom O'Donnell. He touched so many lives in the most difficult times of our lives, a loss of a loved one. He gave so many hope that things would be okay in those tragic times. Like our city flag and seal, Salem means shalom, peace. He brought peace and comfort and love to all. At his wake, there was a great collages and videos of his life and love of family, and lifelong memories and treasures, and that's what we celebrate tonight. Monday is Patriots' Day, a day to celebrate heroes and role models. He was a modern-day Minuteman, ready in a moment's notice. He was always ready to hear the call and become a living angel of compassion. Even at Mass at the Immaculate Conception Church, he sat in the back so not to distract Massgoers when the call for service came. Every brother and sister should have a brother like Tom. He was in a league of his own. He had that special grace that was class, first class. So if I may read the resolution?
Yes.
President. In the City Council, April 11th, 2019 resolution. Whereas on March 2nd, 2019, a son of Salem, our angel of comfort, Thomas A. O'Donnell, was called back home unexpectedly at the young age of 76. And whereas his death has taken from our community not just a prominent businessman, but a compassionate, kind, gentle, caring soul who demonstrated these virtues to other families in their most difficult and challenging times. And whereas the best part of Salem, it's not its historic buildings, but its rich family traditions and legacies, like the O'Donnell family. Tom worked in the family business, Henry J. O'Donnell and Sons, and took reins at the age of 28 and became the third generation to help the residents of Salem and North Shore in their time of need, to comfort them and to assure them that things will be okay. And who passed his living legacy of compassion and service to the humanity onto his only son, Anthony, in 2013. Whereas Tom will always be remembered for greeting friends and happy and friends and family with top of the morning, with his sparkling eyes, his wide grin, his hearty laugh. His priest said, "Heaven is a kinder place with Tom in heaven." His brother Hank, who's here tonight, also paid tribute and homage to his brother from a quote from Ted Kennedy: "Our work begins anew, hope rises again, and the dream will never die." And whereas Tom lived and loved every one of his 76 years of life, Thomas O'Donnell was much more than a funeral director. He attended St. Mary's Grammar School. He enjoyed his summers and weekends on the Common as a member of the Drum and Bugle Corps. He attended Salem High School and played varsity football and was a graduate, and a 1960 graduate. Tom continued his education at Maine Maritime Academy, receiving a bachelor's degree in engineering in 1964. Shortly after, he began working for Texaco Oil Company as a junior engineer, and as he traveled and saw the world from the bottom of the engine room, he rose to the top and became Texaco's chief engineer. In 1969, Tom came home, back to his roots, to help his family, and Councilman Bedore?
Councilman Bedore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to continue reading the resolution. Thank you, Councilor Fury.
Thank you.
And whereas Tom O'Donnell was also one to give back to his city and his community. Tom was a member of the Salem Common Neighborhood Association, the Salem Rotary Club, the Knights of Columbus, the Salem Beverly Elks Lodge, and the Aleppo Shrine Temple, to name a few. He was always there to help and always with a smile. And whereas Tom has earned the respect, admiration, and high regard of all whom he came into contact with and all of those he helped, and this community has sustained a great loss in his death. And now therefore resolved that the Salem City Council, on behalf of all our citizens, hereby extends to the members of his family and those he loved our sincere condolences in this time of their bereavement. And be it further resolved that this resolution be made part of the official records of our city, and that an official copy of this expression of our sympathy be given to the O'Donnell family.
Under discussion?
So,
Oh, and you can move?
should I make a motion or move for adoption?
Thank you. Under discussion?
Discussion.
Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am very glad to bring this resolution forward with Councilor Fury. At the last meeting, I mentioned that Tom has always been very welcoming to all members of the community, regardless of where they're from, who they are, their background, and he has always been very warm and inviting and lived his life with lots of humor, which I appreciated in the short time, unfortunately, that I know him. And I'm very sad to see that he had passed away so quickly and unexpectedly, and very glad to see his family members here tonight, and would like to celebrate his life with this resolution. Thank you.
I echo those words. Councilor Dominguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was remembering when I first came to Salem, moving from New York with my young family. One of the first people that I met that welcomed me and made me feel part of Salem was Tom and his son Anthony. To me, Tom and Anthony represent the quality and the reach that we have in Salem. And like we say in the resolution, they embrace not only people that they know, but people who doesn't know, and I'm a testimony of that. But I go deeply. I don't know if anybody know, but the O'Donnell family help the Latino community big time. They have a business, but people come to them with money or without money, and they take care. And a very difficult time and moments when you lose some of your family, the O'Donnell family, they're there for us. So I want to thank publicly, and I really feel that I lost a role model, a person that really teach how love it is, and I deeply, deeply, deeply thank you for what you do for the city of Salem. So thank you.
Any further discussion? Councilor Flynn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank Councilor Fury for bringing this in. This is a great thing that he did to remember a great man. The O'Donnell family, the best of Salem. From Mr. Hank O'Donnell, Brother Tom, Anthony. Always gentlemen, always a great leader in the community, as the Good at Large Council said, helped so many people. I had the opportunity to work with the O'Donnell family for funerals when we used to put honor guards together for family members or fallen firefighters, and always top-notch, always there, always respectful to everyone. And I can honestly say that Salem is a better place because of the O'Donnell family. And we're very lucky to have them. As stated, a son of Salem is Tom O'Donnell. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wholeheartedly agree with everything that's been said. The O'Donnell family, I was very fortunate. I'm going to put some brevity on this because Tom would appreciate that. I want to say that probably the first time, and I didn't grow up in Salem, and the first time I ever had the pleasure of even understanding who the O'Donnells were was when I was getting married. And my wife's family, their services for whoever passed away had always been at the O'Donnell. And the phone call came, how many limos do you need? There was no question. It's like, how many limos do you need? Did you get your limos yet? We're gonna get you some limos. You need limos. You're getting married. I'm like, who are the O'Donnells? Why are they gonna bring us limos? And that's just the kind of people they are, and I wholeheartedly agree with everything. I mean, in the 25 years that I've been blessed to know the O'Donnell family since I moved here, I can't echo the words that have been said anymore. Truly, for anyone who's experienced that end of it and how compassionate the family is to anyone who has lost a loved one and how they deal with that and how they cope and make it work and make the family first and have an understanding of what's going on. I can't even imagine what is from their perspective being on the other side of it when a whole bunch of us stood in line to honor Tom for his wake, and I miss him. I miss, as Councilman Madore said, I miss his jokes. He was always great with a one-liner, and I wholeheartely thank Councilman Madore and Councilor Fury for bringing this in and honoring their family, because what they do is unselfish and unsung, and as Councilor Dominguez said, sometimes you don't know what goes on behind the scenes and what they're doing, and they just do it without any fanfare. And I think that this body just doing this for them, this little thing, I think Tommy's looking down, he's like, okay, you guys talk long enough. But I want to thank the family, thank you.
Thank you for that tribute. Any further discussion? Council Sergeant.
Thank you, Mr. President. I did have one of those limos for my wedding. So. As a young teenager and a young man hanging around the common, we hung around where Tom would make his way from his house to the funeral home and had a lot of those 5-minute conversations, and sometimes he'd set us straight in a nice way, but we always knew to respect him and respect his business. He was kind of like the neighborhood mayor walking by. We all knew who he was, and we knew to stand a little bit at attention when he went by. So, an example of Tom and his family's goodness, I got lost in St. Mary's Cemetery after a funeral one day. I come way around the back side, and I see all these graves with just little markers on them. And curiosity got the best of me. And I started walking around. And boy, you want to sober yourself up, it's all the newborn babies who had passed away. And these are babies that didn't have family to take care of them, or they would have been in the family plots. And probably half of those, it had the name of the funeral home, probably half of those were O'Donnells, that they had taken care of these families. And just out of the goodness of their heart, nobody knows they do it. It's just part of the business, just taking care of people. And I just had a hard time leaving there that day. It was just such a sight to see. I'd never seen that before. Never knew that was there. And another thing about Tom is he's more than a funeral director. He just knew how to explain what happened to you, whether you were a teenager or a grown man, woman. He just knew how to have you understand what happened. Almost like a good therapist. He knew how you understand, got you to accept it, and understand that it was a celebration of life you were having. And it really touched me the way he was with people. But someone like Tom's not a famous man, even though we know him well. Not known throughout the world, Mr. President, but so important to us here in Salem. But I do know this, that if you took every city and every town and every village throughout the world and gave them a couple more men like Tom O'Donnell, the world would be a better place to live in. And I'm so glad I got to know him. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Torrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. Part of the life of the city is, an important part of the life of the city is the families and the people who bring comfort to those who's in their families have had a death. And the O'Donnell family, there's a handful of families that have that honor in the city. The O'Donnell family is an amazingly important part of it. And I just hope that what we're doing here tonight for you guys is just it's only a tiny fraction of that which you've done for the families of Salem, but I'm glad that we can at least do this little thing, and I hope this, brings some comfort to those who provide it.
Any further discussion? Council Fury.
I'd like to thank, personally, Mr. Eileen Simons, our city clerk, for putting this all together and writing this. She's an angel to help me write this, and Councilor Madore to do this. Thank you very much, Eileen. Thank you very much. Motion to approve?
Thank you. On the motion by Council Fury for adoption, all those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. Council Fury.
Mr. President, if I may ask for personal privilege to allow members of the family, if they may wish, to speak on about Tom.
Seeing no objection, I'd love to hear from Tom's brother and son. If you could step to the microphone. The folks at home would like to hear you, and if you could simply state your name and address for the record.
I'm Henry O'Donnell, known to all my friends as Hank. I live at 18 Settlers Way. It's down across from the Bentley Charter School. And I'd like to take this time to thank all of you on the council for the kindness they've shown to the family, and particularly in honor of my brother, Tom. I would like to introduce, at this time, if I may, is my nephew, Tom's son, Anthony, my wife, Diane, and my son, Carlos. My daughter is in Washington, D.C. That's where she works, so she's not with us this evening, and Carlos's fiancée, Liz. Salem, in general, and the Salem Common, in particular, Ward 1 and Ward 2, have been in our DNA for over 100 years. It started with my grandfather, who was orphaned at 7 years old, but grew up on Union Street. And then he married a Maud McManus, who lived on English Street. When they got married, they moved to Boardman Street. And then when they started the funeral home in 1933, they moved to 46 Washington Square, where 10 of us, 3 generations, grew up in that household, as well as it being a funeral home. So I had uncles who they thought were my brother, and I had aunts who thought they were my sisters, but they were aunts and uncles from the other generation. Tom didn't move very far from 46 Washington Square. When he first got married, he moved into 82 Washington Square with his wife, and a year or two later bought a home at 80 Washington Square, where he resided until his passing. And then, when Anthony graduated from college, he bought him a home at 35 Washington Square. Not a world traveler. And then, of course, his biggest dream, because of the challenges that my grandfather and my father had on parking at funerals, would have to close down Washington Square. And the neighbors were wonderful, but at the same time, it was inconvenient. And so his goal, when he purchased the full Spyhalski Funeral Home, was to redo it, which has at least 80, maybe even 100, whatever Anthony decides, parking spaces that will bring joy to the people in Washington Square, because there'll be plenty of parking in the back. By the way, the address is 84 Washington Square. So, not to take too much time, but the Common is in our DNA. We were brought up to love Salem and love Salem Common. And when we grew up, as Mr. Domingo said, it was a different neighborhood at the time, but we were brought up to be all-inclusive with our friendships. It was the Polish neighborhood in Ward 1. And it was the French Canadians, this is old wards now, maybe they refigured them since my day, in Ward 5, and the Italians in Ward 3, and the, what do you call it, the Yankees in Federal Street and Chestnut Street, which is probably part of Christine's Ward 2, but some of it's Ward 3. So times have changed. But what hasn't changed was Tom's knowing the importance of opening his heart and teaching Anthony and the rest of us the importance of accepting everyone into your family. And when the community changed and the Latino community grew, he opened his hearts to them, and I know that they appreciated it, as was expressed tonight. I particularly take pride in the Latino community, since I have a son who is a Latino from Chile and a daughter, Liliana, who is also from Chile, a Latina. But his love of his life was really his son Anthony, who will continue with the tradition of opening up his heart and his funeral home and his compassion to those that he serves. One little note about myself that many of you probably don't know, but it's just an example of Tom and the O'Donnells, my father and grandfather. I didn't go to Salem High. I was St. John's Prep. So after graduation from Salem State, I moved away, spent 2 years in beautiful Great Barrington, Mass., and 3 years in Montpelier, Vermont, and 2 years studying for my doctorate at the State University of New York in Buffalo. But State Representative Zoll ran for mayor and was elected, and State Representative Harrington got elected to Congress. So there were 2 open spots. And here I was 7 years away from Salem. And I said, I'm going to run for that spot, because it was a special election in January and February, and I was on winter break. So I figured, nothing to lose here, let's give it a shot. And 14 other people thought the same thing. So I knocked on the doors, and everybody would say, well, and my name was Henry, by the way, Henry III, which I changed to Hank after my friends would call me Henry the Turd. So they would say, well, whose son are you? Are you Henry Sr.'s? Are you Henry Jr.'s son? Or are you Tom's brother? And it was definitely the O'Donnell name. They really didn't know me, except I knocked on the door and I worked hard. But I knew the day before that I would win, because Tom came up to me and said, you're going to win. And I said, how do you know that? And he says, because every time I see people, they always say to me, hi, Hank. I got to wrap this thing up, but I really thank you for everything. It means a lot to all of us, to myself and to my wife and my children, and particularly to Anthony. Anthony was his pride and joy, and he will carry on. But, as my 2 children have said, every family needs an Uncle Tom. And as you have said in your elocution of Tom, every city needs a Tom O'Donnell. And thank you very much.
Tough act to follow, certainly. Hank, thank you very much for those kind words. And I also wanted to thank Councilor Fury and Councilor Medor. My dad loved the game of politics, or sport of politics, as he would always call it. I do have bad news, because your ratings are going to go down, because I think Dad was one of 3 people that watch it on TV every day. And thank you very much to the city clerk as well, and the chairperson, and all of the councilors. I consider you friends, and we're welcome to everyone. So Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilor Sargent.
Move for a 1-minute recess.
No objections, we are in recess. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I first move that we resume the meeting.
Thank you. Yes.
Secondly, if we could indulge one more, take out of order page 10, please.
I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
Okay, no objections, page 10. Communications from the mayor. Councilor McCarthy.
Page 10.
We have an order that a petition to the general court accompanied by a bill authorizing the Salem Retirement Board to retire Brian Benson as set forth be filed with an attested copy of this order be and hereby is approved under the Clause 1 of Section 8 of Article 2 as amended of the amendments to the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Mass to the end that the following legislation be adopted, except for amendments by the Senate or House of Representatives which conform to intent of this home rule petition. So an act authorizing the retirement board of the city of Salem to retire Brian Benson, a police officer of the city of Salem.
Thank you. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Benson is in the chambers with us tonight, and without getting into all the details, Mr. Benson suffered a traumatic injury while performing in the line of duty, and this is a way that we can allow Mr. Benson, he can no longer perform his duties and services to the city, which he so heartily would wish to continue to do, but he can't. So this is just our way of allowing him to retire. And it's a petition to the state legislatures to allow that to occur, so our retirement board will recognize him as a retiree. And I think that's, seeing the fact that he suffered this injury while in the line of duty, I think it's the least that this body can do. So I'd ask for confirmation by roll call vote.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Nope, there being none. Madam City Clerk, on the motion by Councilor McCarthy for confirmation by roll call vote, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Toriel?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Peterson?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Absolutely.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Madore?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Flynn?
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez?
Yes.
And Councilor Dibble.
Yes. On the motion by Councilor McCarthy, 10 councilors present, 10 voting in the affirmative, the matter carries. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. If there's no objection, I would move to waive the rules. Mr. Bryan would like to address the council briefly.
Absolutely. See no objections?
Thank you. I'll make this quick. I just wanted to make it known how important this is to my family and I, and it's been a long process and journey that we've been through. Yeah, it's been tough, but the city of Salem as a whole they've been great from every part, from the police department, city hall, and now to here, the support we've got as a family and how much it's helped us go through all what we're going through. We can't thank you enough. I had something written down and I'm just going off my feelings. We're going through a tough situation, but we're making the best of a hard process. And, I would do anything to get my health back, and if I had the chance, I'd be out there tonight working. There's nothing you could do to stop me, but I can't do it. And it was tough to accept that, but I just want to say thank you specifically to everybody in the council. Thank you to Mayor Driscoll. Thank you to Chief Mary Butler, the Salem Police Department, and also Mario Oliveira and Bill Jennings of VIPO for violently injured police officers who helped this get going as well. We can never thank you enough, and you'll be in our thoughts forever. So.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Council McCarthy.
I move that we return to the regular portion of the agenda.
Okay, public testimony. Public testimony is not to exceed 15 minutes. Public testimony is not a public hearing or question and answer period. Your name must appear on the roster 30 minutes prior to the meeting, and you can only speak on agenda items that are proposed. With that, we have two speakers signed up. David Rowland, please. Name and address for the record, please.
Dave Rowland, Columbus Ave, Salem, Mass. Mr. Chairman and the council, I'd like to, as a member of the Salem Alliance for the Environment, I would like to read the following into the record. This is from Pat Gazember and Cindy Keegan, co-chairs of SAFE, regarding the support for the Green New Deal Policy Order 2019, number 8. SAFE gives its full support to the passing of the policy order before you, sponsored by Councilor Lisa Peterson and Mayor Kim Driscoll. We have been and will continue to educate our membership and Salem residents about the Green New Deal, GND, proposed by Senator Ed Markey and Representative Alexandria Cortez. The Green New Deal is a statement of aspirations. The work of developing policy remains, but as a country, we need to unite now behind commitments to develop fair and equitable climate policies for all. Just as President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal brought hope to millions of our people, we believe that the GND will do the same. The GND's broad aspirations have meaning for our city as well as we continue, indeed, to lead the way on the North Shore in promoting the high goals that are called for in this climate crisis. By passing this resolution, you will be signaling Salem's continued commitment to addressing climate change in an equitable, resolute, and visionary way. SAFE is proud of your work in supporting 100% renewable energy, and we look to you now to support and unite with communities across our state, taking on climate change in a more comprehensive way. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff Cohen.
Jeff Cohen, 12 Hancock Street, Salem. As Vice Chair of Salem Sustainability, Energy, and Resiliency Committee, I'm speaking on behalf of the committee. We spent 4 months working on this resolution. We were the first community in Massachusetts to pass a 100% clean energy resolution. We were the first community in Massachusetts to pass a resolution encouraging our state legislators to pass carbon pricing and the omnibus energy bill. 646 of the biggest and best and even some of the smallest environmental organizations in the country support this. Over 81% of Americans in recent polling are either strongly in support of a Green New Deal or somewhat in support. Glenn Roadbush, so I'm going to bring up something that's a little bit different than in most cases. I talk about the financial impact. He's the Federal Executive VP of Research for the Fed, for the US Fed. And he said that climate-related financial risks could affect the economy through elevated credit spreads, greater precautionary saving, and a financial crisis. There would also be direct effects in the form of larger and more frequent macroeconomic shocks associated with the infrastructure damage, agricultural losses, and commodity price spikes caused by droughts, floods, hurricanes amplified by climate change. Bold action is required to meet the scale and urgency of the challenges we face as a country and especially as a community. In a recent study, Salem is considered the second most endangered community on the North Shore to revere. In many cases, we're almost underwater. This program will bring job growth and economic opportunity as the green sector provides great promise. There is particular focus on historically disadvantaged and vulnerable communities with an emphasis on affordable housing and public transportation. As Bill McKimmon of 350 said yesterday, there is no Planet B. Thank you.
That'll conclude public testimony. Hearings.
We have an order from National Grid to install a conduit on Front Street.
Councilman Medora.
you, Mr. President.
Six you?
Wait.
Thank you. Appearing in favor.
Sabita Mahaber Shihi, representing National Grid, 44 River Street, Beverly, Massachusetts. This is to provide service to a light control box, to provide service to the courtyard at this location. I believe you also have your farmer's market there.
Any discussion? Anybody here to speak in favor or against? There being none. Councilman Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the hearing be closed.
All those in favor? Opposed? I have it. Councilman Madore.
I move for
Adoption.
adoption. Move for adoption.
On the recommendation by Councilman Madore that the matter be adopted. All those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you. Appointments and reappointments.
We've held from the last meeting the mayor's appointment of Cynthia Nina Soto to serve on the Affordable Trust Fund Board with a term to expire March 14th, 2020.
Councilor Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that for confirmation by roll call vote.
Under discussion?
Yes, thank you. We are really fortunate that Cynthia Nina Soto wants to volunteer her time on this board, as well as another board that we recently appointed her to. And this one is a really special match for her because she is a realtor and she spends a lot of her time, and she's in the leadership in the North Shore in realty, and she has a real front row seat of the need for affordable housing. So I'm really excited that she's bringing that to the city, and I hope that we will confirm her.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Dominguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. More than 26 years ago, I had the opportunity to meet Cynthia Nina Soto and her family. And I can't find any person more qualified to be in that position. I'm very happy to see that Cynthia is able to be on that on that affordable fund board, which is very important in this time. So I want to thank publicly Cynthia for being part of this. Thank you.
Councilor Flynn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to echo both the good Ward 3 and at-large councilor on Cynthia Nina Soto. We've been friends for a while. Our children play sports together. She's a wonderful, wonderful mother, wonderful wife, and a wonderful person to the city of Salem. I've seen some of her work that she's done to make things better for this cause with affordable housing, and I think we're very, very lucky to have her, and she's an asset to this, and I'm glad to see you stepping up like this. Thank you very much.
I agree. Any further discussion? There being none. On the motion by Councilor Peterson for confirmation by roll call vote, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Torrio?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Peterson?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Madore?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Flynn?
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez?
Yes.
And Councilor Dibble.
Yes. Thank you. 10 councilors present, 10 voting in the affirmative. The matter carries. Councilor Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to suspend the rules in the event that Ms. Nina Soto would like to address the council.
No objection?
Just lost my heel, sorry. I lost my heel walking in, sorry. Cynthia Nina Soto from 6 Laurent Road. Thank you very much. I can't say that I was born here. I was transferred here when I was 8, and I never, ever, ever in my life thought that I would be in this role, in this position, helping to share what I know about the city, about the industry, and helping to promote affordable housing or housing as a whole. But having great leaders like my good old Councilor Domingo, who was always there to pull on our ear and remind us to do good and help others.
I'm happy to serve in this role. Oftentimes, the role of a realtor, people perceive that to be just to bring someone to the closing table, but really our role is to promote housing at all levels for everybody. And that's something that I wish to be able to share with the Affordable Housing Trust, with each and every one of you, and work with you to not only help solve the crisis that we are addressing, that we're going through here in Salem, but also help set us up to avoid this crisis from happening again in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Further appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Dr. Taylor Rose to serve on the Scholarship and Education Committee with a term to expire on March 28th, 2022.
Councilor Flynn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for confirmation by a roll call vote.
Under discussion?
Yes, I'd just like to say that I had an opportunity to meet Dr. Rose, to speak to her tonight, and looking over her qualifications, I think it's a perfect fit for this. As a professor at Northeastern University, and she also works in admissions, what better qualifications to have to be a perfect fit as far as knowing how to give scholarships out and be a part of that and make the important decisions. And I think we're very lucky to have her for stepping up.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Torrio?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Peterson?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Madore?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Flynn?
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez?
Yes.
Councilor Dibble?
Yes. On the matter, we have 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative. The matter carries. Councilor Flynn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like a suspension of rules in case Dr. Rose would like to address.
See, no objections?
Hi, good evening, everyone. So again, my name's Taylor Rose at 13 Nurse Way in Salem. I've lived here for about 5 years now, from the South Shore originally, so I crossed the Tobin, and I'm really excited to be getting more engaged in the community. So I'd just like to take a moment to thank Mayor Driscoll for the appointment, to Councilor Flynn for the introduction, and to the council for the confirmation. Working in higher ed, I am intimately familiar with the crazily increasing costs of education. And in my admissions work, I often deal with students who are really put in a tough spot by the lack of affordability of that education right now. So I'm excited to be working on the other side of it and to get to do some good. So thank you all so much. Have a great night.
Thank you. Further appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Mr. Benjamin Winthrop to serve on the Housing Authority with a term to expire on March 28th, 2024.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Winthrop is with us tonight in the chambers, and this appointment to the authority is a union position, and as anyone who's ever followed Mr. Winthrop on any media, he knows he is probably one of the biggest union supporters out there with regards to union issues, and this seat needs to be filled by a union guy. He has been recommended by the Labor Council, and he's also, back in the day when he was back in Florida, he was with the community organization to Reform Now, where he actively engaged tenants' rights and organizing efforts. When I had the pleasure of talking to Mr. Winthrop a couple weeks ago, he's really excited about this opportunity, and I want to thank him personally for being willing to step up and meet this challenge right now, as what's been going on over at the Housing Authority, and with the biggest issue they have right now in front of them is finding a new director, so I think it's very important to get someone in there and as quick as we can to make sure that that process moves forward. I also want to thank Frank Milo for all his efforts. I know that Councilor Milo's husband worked a long time there, and he's decided to go in a different direction, and I appreciate all his efforts that he engaged on that work. But it is a very important work, and I want to thank Mr. Winthrop, and on a personal note, I think the first time I met Mr. Winthrop, he is very fortunate to live near Ziggy's Donuts, and I was out holding signs, and he came out very early on a Sunday morning. I was out there, and he wanted to know who this Bob guy was. And we had a nice conversation then, and we've had conversations over the years, and I just want to thank him for being willing to step up and fill this role.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Council Torrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll just echo a lot of what my colleague just said, and also note that, on a positive note for us, this is the first time we've been able to discuss the Housing Authority since I started that the at-large counselor could be present for. So no longer having to recuse yourself. And also, just on a personal note, I've been a friend of Ben's for a few years, and to note some recent changes in his life, he'll have the time to do this. Hopefully, the fact that you are now recently engaged will help you stick around Salem more often. So I know you're on the road a lot for work. So congratulations, also.
Council Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to briefly echo some of what my colleagues have said, but just to say that I've gotten to know Ben as a friend over the past couple of years, and he's really the person that I turn to when I have questions about elevating marginalized voices. And so I think this is the perfect seat for him, and I'm really excited that he wants to volunteer in this capacity. Thank you.
Council Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to say what everyone else has said, but I will just add that many of the Housing Authority tenants are in my ward, and they're some of the most vulnerable people in our community, and I can't see anyone better than Ben to represent them, to give them a voice, because you have such a extensive background in organizing and giving the less heard be heard, a way for them to be heard. So I'm really glad you're willing to serve, and congrats on the engagement. I'm thrilled for you. Thank you.
Any further discussion? There being none. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Council Torrio?
Yes.
Council Sargent?
Yes.
Council Ferguson?
Yes.
Council Milo?
Yes.
Council McCarthy?
Yes.
Council Madore?
Yes.
Council Fury?
Yes.
Council Flynn?
Yes.
Council Dominguez?
Yes.
And Council Dibble.
Yes. On the matter, 10 councilors present, 10 voting in affirmative. The matter carries. Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd move for suspension of rules to allow Mr. Winthrop to address the council. If he so
Seeing no
chooses.
objections?
Hey, Ben Winthrop, 3 Essex Street, Salem. Wow, thank you. That was a little taken aback, but thank you for all your congratulations and kind words. It really does mean a lot. There's a lot of potential with the Salem Housing Authority. There's a lot of opportunity to do some good work for the people of Salem, and there's been a lot of good work that's gone on in the past. And I am, I think it's going to require a lot of listening to people to begin with, and I'm totally willing to do that. But after some communication has been established, I think we could do some really great things. And I thank you all for the trust that you have placed in me with this. I can't say that enough. So thank you. I'll let you go.
Councilor Fury.
My name is Mr. President. May I request the City Council to request a city seal be sent to Mr. Frank Milo for being a living angel for the most vulnerable, for serving on the Salem Housing Authority. We've been very fortunate to have Mr. Milo serve, and we're going to miss him dearly on that board. But he was a living angel for the vulnerable. If we could send him a city seal, if you may. Thank you.
All those in favor?
Thank you, Councilor.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you, Councilor Fury.
Thank you.
Further appointments and reappointments.
In the mayor's appointment of Stacy Norton to serve on the Salem Historical Commission, and with a term to expire on April 11th, 2022.
Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for this to be held under the rules.
Held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Amy Stewart to serve on the Scholarship and Education Committee with a term to expire April 11th, 2022.
Councilor Torrio.
Mr. President, I move this be held under the rules.
Held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
Mayor's appointment of Jennifer McAlpine to serve on the Scholarship and Education Committee with a term to expire on April 11th, 2022.
Councilor Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this be held under the rules.
Held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Rosa Ordez to serve as an alternate member on the Zoning Board of Appeals with a term to expire on April 11th, 2021.
Counselor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move this be held under the rules.
Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Aaron Schaefer to serve on the Historical Commission with a term to expire on April 11th, 2022.
Council Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this be held under the rules.
Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of David Gilbert as the Winter Island Manager with a term to expire April 11th, 2021.
Council Dominguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Under discussion?
Yes, we just want to thank Mr. David Gabriel for his service in that department, and I think that, speak very loud and clear that he's been doing a good job, so we just wanted to reconfirm him.
Any further discussion? Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Winter Island being in Ward 1, I can't say enough kind words about Mr. Gilbert and his abilities, especially during the summer months when you've got so many things going on down at Winter Island, and I think sometimes he must live in a tent there or something, because he's always there, and his staff tries to be very attentive as to the needs of a whole bunch of different people. When you talk about the boaters that are coming in to use the boat ramp, the campers that are camping, the RV owners, the special events that go on there, and everything, and to be able to take, his staff and his seasonal staff and mold them into a unit that gets the job done down there. He really is an asset to the city, and I really wholeheartedly would move to reconfirm him to this position.
Any further discussion? On the motion by Councilor Dominguez, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Turiel?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Peterson?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Madore?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Flynn?
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez?
Yes.
And Councilor Dibble.
Yes. 10 councilors present, 10 voting in the affirmative. The matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Geraldine Yahos to serve on the Board of Health with a term to expire April 14th, 2022.
Council Madore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Under discussion?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Jerry, for her service on this board, and I'm glad she's willing to continue to serve.
Any further discussion? There being none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Turiel?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Peterson?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Madore?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Flynn?
Yes.
Councilor Dominguez?
Yes.
And Councilor Dibble.
Yes. Thank you. 10 councilors present, 10 voting in the affirmative. The matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Jeff Cohen of 12 Hancock Street to serve on the Sustainability, Energy, and Resiliency Committee with a term to expire April 14th, 2022.
Council Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Under discussion?
Briefly, Mr. President, thank you. We all know Jeff here well. He's a frequent contributor here at the lectern, and this committee and the work that it does is truly his passion. And if he hasn't approached you all yet about putting, solar panels on your roof, I'm sure he will.
Any further discussion? Councilor Fury.
Yes, Mr. President. The city of Salem lost another angel to another town, Jeffrey Bars Snell, the Reverend. And we are very fortunate to have a Jeffrey to take his place. And Jeff is the living angel of the sustainability, the environment. He's a very public advocate. He and his wife, very strong, vocal in all the meetings. So we're lucky to have Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
Any further discussion? Councilor Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just quickly, I want to, as the liaison to the committee, I just want to say that it's been a pleasure to serve on that committee so far this year, and Jeff has really made it, he's been such a great resource and made it easy to be able to do some good work there. So,
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Dominguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I had the opportunity to meet Jeff a long time ago, even though we sometimes don't be on the same page for some reason, but he's a gentleman, a man that represents really what he's he say, being the chairman of the No Place to Hate, and in another organization, he represents a good quality of citizens. So I'm very happy to hear and echo what all of my colleagues just say about Mr. Ye.
Thank you for that. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Turio?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Peterson?
Yes.
Counselor Milo? Yes. Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Madore?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Flynn?
Yes.
Counselor Dominguez?
Yes.
And Counselor Dibble.
Yes. Thank you. 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative. The matter carries. Council Terrio. Oh, sorry, no. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Deborah Wayne to serve as a constable with a term to expire May 16th, 2022.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we received and filed.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
Any further discussion? There being none, filed. Mayor's informational page? Yes. Could I see a motion, could I hear a motion to suspend the rules?
Take out of order.
So moved.
Thank you.
We have a communication from the mayor to request that the Salem Youth Commission address the council.
How about that?
Seeing no objection? Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Michaela Bray, and I live at 28 Albion Street in Salem. I'm currently the chair. What? Go. I'm currently the chair of the Youth Commission, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we're currently doing. So we recently got a grant from the 84 Project to raise awareness about menthol-related projects and just tobacco in general. Today we talked about it at Student Government Day to just get other feedback and just hear more about what people from other cities feel. And then we're hoping to move forward with new projects with it to just raise more awareness and education with younger kids because they are being targeted.
I'm Ayana Lilly, and I live on 17 Appleton Street in Salem, Massachusetts. Something that we did last week was we went to the State House in Boston, and we were able to speak with other legislators about how we feel that teens are being targeted by tobacco and how people are unaware of what's going on, and we were able to educate them and even invite some of them to come to our community and see what's happening in our schools and at our convenience stores and stuff like that with the tobacco industry. And on top of that, I was nominated and I received this year's statewide Youth Leadership Award. Thank you.
Councilor Fury.
Mr. President, Councilor Peterson and I had the honor of taking part in Student Government Day. It just gives us energy and excitement to take part in Student Government Day. I never had that opportunity when I was growing up in Salem to have that, and they were two best ambassadors we could ask for the future, for maybe sitting here in this council chamber. They sat here this afternoon. Councilor Peterson will back me up if you want to make any comments. Articulate, bright ambassadors of their generation, talking about their generation, their concerns for their generation, and they all talked. Every single one of them talked. The audience talked, got up here. I would never have that courage to get up there and speak as you did. And I want to thank Laura very much for putting it all together. Student Government Day is just a wonderful opportunity to bring us all together. There's so many things on the table that we can discuss. And thank you for being good ambassadors to Salem High School and commitment that you bring to the city of Salem. Thank you, Laura. Thank you very much. And thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilor Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to echo that. I had a wonderful day today as well with the youth government program, and want to say thanks to Laura, and especially thanks to the Youth Commission themselves. They did a wonderful job of bringing to light an issue that I was not aware of. I know that there are underhanded practices in terms of the way that youth are targeted, but they really pointed out specifically the way that people of color, Black people in particular, have been targeted over the years with menthol-related cigarettes, and how that has been like a really specific focus, and how much damage it has done everywhere in our community as well. So I've committed to working with them in terms of figuring out if there's anything that we can do here in our community to address that real serious concern. So thank you.
Good, thank you. Councilor Torrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm familiar with the Youth Commission. My son is a member of it. He's a junior in high school right now, and he went to the day at the State House last week. It was really it was an amazing experience. I know our state legislation, our state delegation sent me pictures from the day. I got all these pictures of his appearances there, texted over from them. But and for him it was a little weird because they're people he knows. So, but I really appreciate the work that they're trying to do to raise awareness of issues. They've participated in things like clothing drives and food drives, and now they're trying to raise awareness of tobacco use. And I think it's good that we have a city that has these young people kind of providing this sort of example and providing this sort of leadership. These are kids who are all going places and are all really focused on doing good. I think that's really important for us.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, thank you. Further communications from the mayor? Thank you, ladies. Councilor Dominguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the matter to be placed on file.
Thank you. Communications from the mayor.
We have an order that the sum of $40,000 is hereby appropriated from the fund balance free cash account to the planning contracted services account.
Councilor Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objections, Councilor Peterson.
Thank you. Due to questions I've received that remain unanswered or unsatisfied, I move that this be sent to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted.
Co-posted. Any further discussion? Excuse me, under discussion. No discussion? Any further discussion? There being none. On the motion by Councilor Peterson that the matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, Life, and Legal Affairs?
No, Administration.
Administration Finance, I apologize.
Thank you.
Administration and Finance co-posted. All those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order that the sum of $40,000 is hereby appropriated from the fund balance free cash account to the treasurer credit card fees account.
Councilor Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection, Councilor Peterson.
Thank you. I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Yes, this is related to our credit card fees. The fees have been going up, and the usage that what we've been using it for has been going up. Things like parking meters, water, sewer. A lot more people have been using the Passport app, which is great, but of course that results in higher fees. So it's just a result of, I think, some of the things we've been wanting to happening.
Any further discussion? There being none. On Councilor Peterson's motion for adoption, all those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order that the sum of $35,723 is hereby appropriated within the capital outlay fund to be expended for the project management services of Forest River Pool, Bathhouse, and associated facilities by the engineering department.
Councilor Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection, Councilor Peterson.
I move that this be sent to Administration and Finance for the same reason that there are some unanswered questions from yourself.
Co-posted or not?
Co-posted, please.
Co-posted. Thank you. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Discussion.
Thank you. This is a much more complex project than these types of projects have been in the past. This is to pay for project management services. It's beyond the expertise that we have in-house. So this is really to pay for technical expertise related to management of the Forest River project that I know everybody's eager to see move forward.
Sure. Any further discussion? Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Not being my ward and obviously concerned about the pool moving forward as an asset for the entire city, is this time sensitive or? Because I would ask what the questions are. I mean, it seems to me like we're trying to, I haven't spoken to anyone in the city who hasn't said that they don't want the pool put back in. So I guess my question would be, if we're trying to get the pool put back in, if it's time sensitive, we want to get people on board, and if any delay is going to delay this any further out than it needs to be delayed, then I guess, what's the question? What's the unanswered question?
Councilor McCarthy, I had a discussion with the mayor on this, and she made it clear that it's not time sensitive, that she expected it to go to committee.
Okay. I guess if that's the will, I mean, that's fine, but I mean, no one I've talked to has said that this isn't a thing that we need to get done, so I don't know where the questions are, but I'll be interested to see what the questions are.
Thank you, Councilor Peterson. On the motion by Councilor Peterson to move this matter to Administration Finance, co-posted, all those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Further communication from the mayor.
We have an order that the sum of $33,000 is hereby appropriated within the capital outlay fund to be expended for renovations to Bertram Field Phase 2 by the Park and Rec Department.
Councilor Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection, Councilor Peterson.
I move for adoption.
Under discussion.
Thank you. This is just, I actually happen to be a stakeholder in the Bertram Field Phase 2 renovation project, and it's really moving forward in a wonderful way. The leadership on that project is, I'm very impressed by it. And this is just to get it ready to get it out to bid. A very, very, very important project. I had a chance a couple weeks ago to take a tour of the field house, and I won't mince words, it's in pretty horrifying condition. The ceiling is falling down inside, and I understand they're still using it, so it feels very urgent to me.
Councilor Fury.
Yes, please. This morning's Student Government Day, Mr. President, fellow members, was an interesting occasion. Councilor Peterson and I and the three members representing us, the mayor and our representatives, and the mayor's representative was Nick Angelamo. His father was the principal of Salem High School, and they gave student affirmation from a student viewpoint that's critically needed for renovation of the Bertram Field. And if anybody has gone into the locker room, into those facilities, it's something out of the 1940s. No one deserves that facility. This is the 21st century. We just invested a lot of money into Bertram Field to have AstroTurf, brand new stands all around, a new eatery, and so on. And it's a disgrace to have that. And I think we need to move. And it's a very important project, and I think it needs to be on the fast track. Thank you.
Any further discussion? There being none, on Councilor Peterson's motion for adoption, all those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Further communications from the mayor.
We have a resolution on the Day of Recognition and Resilience.
Councilor Medor.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem, Massachusetts. Should I just read one? Proclamation, whereas Salem is proud to be a no place for hate community and that we stand with all victimized by senseless violence and honor the memories of those hurt and killed at Pulse, and whereas Salem City Council in 2014 unanimously passed a non-discrimination ordinance that included protections for gender identity, and whereas hundreds marched across nearly 65 groups during the 6th annual North Shore Pride Parade and Festival in Salem in 2017. The events are held in Salem every year, celebrating the region's lesbian, bisexual, gay, transgender, and questioning community. And Christopher Hansen, a Pulse nightclub shooting survivor, led the parade as Grand Marshal. Now, therefore, the mayor, Kimberly Driscoll, members of the Salem City Council hereby declare June 11th, 2019 Day of Recognition and Resilience in the City of Salem to honor individuals killed or wounded by acts of hate and violence. It is a day of reflection, education, and advocacy to facilitate acceptance within our communities, homes, schools, work environments, and places of worship. And I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Hansen, Mr. Christopher Hansen, he was the Grand Marshal of our North Shore Pride Parade last year, and he has started this initiative across the country to ask legislative bodies like ours to declare a day of recognition and resilience, and I believe it's reflection and resilience, I could be wrong. But he is doing this in honor of the victims that were either wounded or killed by the Pulse nightclub shooting. He himself was present at that terrible day, and I think that this is a great way for us to remember the victims and also to signal that we won't let hate or violence continue to impact our daily lives. And the best way to honor those who were hurt and unfortunately killed in other acts of hate and violence is to continue living our lives and happy, productive, full lives. And it's unfortunate that we have to be afraid of acts of hate and violence in places where we learn and worship, celebrate, and reflect. But this is, I think, a wonderful way for us to say that we would like to reaffirm our community's values as inclusive and protective of all members of our community, regardless of how they identify. So I'm really glad that everyone in this body signed on to the proclamation, and invite everyone to celebrate during Pride Month in June and join the parade with us, and it will be a wonderful celebration like every year. Thank you.
Councilor Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I definitely don't want this to come across as making it about me, but this does hold special significance for me, and I'd love to share why. June 11th is my birthday, and I will never forget the shooting happened like super early in the morning on that day. I wasn't there, but waking up in the morning, I think I actually was awake still when it had happened, and just sort of feeling this is an issue that's really important to me, sort of just making sure that people that have been marginalized are loved and embraced, and to share my birthday with a moment of such awful hatred is something that will always be true. So I'm really just very grateful on behalf of everyone who is affected by this, that we are passing this here in our city. It means a lot to so many people, so thank you to everyone.
Thank you. Councilor Fiore.
Yes, please. We couldn't ask for a better ambassador and angel than Jeff Cohen and the No Place for Hate committee here tonight. But also tonight, Joe O'Keefe is looking down tonight at us. He was a very good ambassador for the No Place for Hate committee. So he will be looking down on us tonight, our action on this. So thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Mr. President.
Any further discussion? There being none. On Councilor Mador's motion for adoption, all those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. Mayor's informational page.
Done.
Page 14. Motions, orders, and resolutions.
Peterson. Page 14.
Page 14. Councilor Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, April 11th, 2019, ordered that the fiscal year 19 monthly financial report dated March 31st, 2019 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance. And I move for adoption.
Oh, sorry. Under discussion?
No discussion.
Any further discussion? On the motion by Councilor Peterson that the matter be adopted, all those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, April 11th, 2019, ordered that the year-to-date budget report dated January, February, and March 2019 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Under discussion?
And I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. On the motion by Councilor Peterson that the matter be referred to Committee on Administration and Finance, I think you said?
Yes.
All those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to share the right one. Okay. City of Salem and City Council, April 11th, 2019, ordered that the Powers and Sullivan report on federal award programs year-end June 30th, 2018, be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, and I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
Any further discussion? There being none. On Council Peterson's motion for adoption, all those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Council Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, April 11th, 2019, ordered that the Powers and Sullivan Comprehensive Annual Financial Report for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2018, be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, and I move for adoption.
Under discussion? Any further discussion? There being none. On Council Peterson's motion for adoption, all those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Council Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, April 11th, 2019. Resolution. Whereas shortly after the 2018 midterm elections, there was a groundswell of grassroots support for a proposal from then Rep-elect Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to create a House Select Committee on a Green New Deal, and she and Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey are leading the efforts in the Congress. And whereas such a Green New Deal would address the climate crisis at the scale of intervention called for it by the recent IPCC Special Report on Climate Change, a report that was ultimately rejected by the U.S. government and other oil exporting countries at COP24 in Poland, U.S. pulling out of the Paris Accords. And whereas such a Green New Deal would also create many new jobs for hardworking Americans who have been left behind by globalization and automation, and whereas grassroots advocacy groups have organized more than 250 visits to district offices around the country around this issue in just over a month's time, winning support of more than 60 members of Congress, including Salem's House Delegation member Seth Moulton. And whereas the City of Salem is already taking action to reduce its carbon emissions and promote clean energy, including implementing Power Choice, which we have had in effect for over 4 years, bringing 100% green energy options to all residents and businesses, encouraging alternative transportation through increased bicycling and feasibility of a citywide shuttle, installing electric vehicle charging stations, pursuing renewable energy generation projects to rely less on conventional utilities for power, continuing to implement energy efficiency and conservation strategies in buildings and operations in accordance with the city's participation in the Mass DOER Green Communities Program. And whereas the City of Salem has already completed a climate change vulnerability assessment and adaptation plan in 2014, recognizing the threat of climate change to Salem's infrastructure and natural resources, the city has already begun addressing these vulnerabilities using Mass Office of Coastal Zone Management resources to assess green infrastructure adaptation strategies, including zero net energy, flood control management, and beginning to update the city's emergency management plan to reflect rising sea levels and storm surges for major events. And whereas the City of Salem was the first community in Massachusetts to pass a 100% clean energy resolution in 2014 and passed a resolution in 2018 to encourage our state legislators to pass legislation to institute carbon pricing and a comprehensive omnibus energy bill that addresses the wide range of initiatives such as mitigating gas leaks, net metering, and increasing the state's portfolio of renewable energy sources such as wind and solar. And whereas it is imperative that Congress address the climate crisis with the urgency that is required to avoid the worst consequences of climate change, including extreme heat, drought, fires, flooding, natural disasters, and poverty. And whereas the United States is indeed already experiencing these impacts, from devastating hurricanes in Puerto Rico, North Carolina, and Texas to the Camp wildfire in California that demolished an entire town, Salem is experiencing the recognized consequences of being a coastal community, in particular coastal flooding and sea level rise that is already being realized. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Salem City Council go on record in full support of a Green New Deal that includes both a rapid shift away from fossil fuels and creating jobs for American workers in renewable energy and associated industries. And be it further resolved that the Salem City Council go on record urging our congressional delegation to continue advocating for such a Green New Deal and to make addressing the climate crisis a top priority in 2019 and beyond. And be it further resolved that all relevant council subcommittees and city boards and commissions work together to achieve the maximum resiliency and sustainability possible. And be it further resolved that the city clerk hereby will forward suitably engrossed copies of this resolution to Rep. Seth Moulton and on behalf of the entire Salem City Council. And I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you. As I mentioned earlier, and as all my colleagues know, I'm sure, I am the liaison to the Sustainability, Energy, and Resiliency Committee. And we have been working on this, as some of the speakers mentioned, since the beginning of this calendar year. And this is urgent, and I don't think that's lost on anyone in this room. Being a coastal community, Salem has seen some really expensive repairs recently in terms of things like the pier, being damaged in an extreme storm, and gas leaks that are really important. And it doesn't just feel like, it's true that things seem to be piling up over and over again from all directions in terms of environmental concerns and coastal concerns. And this is something that we, as a community, are not going to be able to afford to address in full without the support of the federal government. So I think it's important for us to lay this groundwork at this point so that we can start to use it as a frame. We can urge our congressional delegation to work really hard on this, to show them that this is critical for us as a community, and also to use it. I know talking to some people in the city about this that work in the city, that as we've passed some of these resolutions in the past, they've been able to use it as a tool to move forward on these types of initiatives at the local level, sort of showing that our council and that our city is really behind that as a priority. So I think it's really important that we show that this is something that's important to us as a community, and I hope that we will approve it. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Councilor Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I read through this, and I'm not opposed to anything. I think Salem is doing a great job in terms of recognizing and addressing climate change. But this is a pretty meaty document. There's a lot of information in here. And I received, I think the biggest pushback based on the feedback that I received was, reference to this Green New Deal. And, you've got a representative and a senator, at the congressional level, working on this kind of thing. I would ask that if it's okay, can we send this to committee and we can have almost like an education session on what this is about, and maybe the language can be amended a little bit so that it's a little more generic, I guess is what I'm looking to say. I also, I think it's important to think globally and think nationally, and certainly act locally. And as the Ward 3 councilor said, we can't afford to address this problem, just as a community. We do need assistance at the state and the federal level, and I understand that. Possibly we bring our state delegation into this, because I know that there's, a strata in how this works. So if this goes to committee, maybe we can have an opportunity to bring everybody in at all levels and maybe maximize our efforts. So my motion would be that this go to committee for further work and collaboration.
Councilor Fiore.
Mr. President, I would be opposed to sending the committee. I think the overall message here is clear. It's not a money figure involved, $200 million or $1 billion or something this nation can't afford. It's the message here. And I think it's a clear message to Congressman Moulton, to our to our two senators, that this needs to be on the front burner. For us to micromanage every single paragraph, I think we're all incentive for this. So to send it to committee to dissect it, and we're not experts here. We're part-time city councilors. The message is clear. To send it to committee, micromanage it, dissect it, saying we don't like this and we don't like. The message is clear, from the heart, from the city council, that something needs to be done. And that's what I believe in. And I think Congressman Moulton will get that message if we send it to him. If we micromanage it and dissect it and deflate it, whatever maybe we do at subcommittee meetings, I think it sends the wrong message. And it's very clear, it's very honest, straightforward. So I'd be opposed to sending it to committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have to respectfully disagree with my colleague, and I will say a couple things. One is, I was at Salem State Representative Moulton's forum, when he vowed to sign on to whatever the deal was, so it's clear that he supports something. We can send something to him, but I'm pretty sure that, it's preaching to the choir at this point. My request to send this to committee is grounded in maximizing our efforts. It's got nothing to do with micromanaging anything. If we truly are looking to help Salem and looking for money to help Salem, I think we have to, turn over every rock. And as I said, we can start at the state, we can go to the federal. I mean, clearly we have to start at the local level. That's what we do. We're local legislators. We're not congressmen. We're not state representatives. So I think for us to take this to committee, to talk about it, to come up with a plan. A resolution is great, but it's just that. It's a resolution. It's, hey, we support this, but there's nothing behind it in terms of a plan to go chase the money and to chase the support. And that's what I'm talking about here, is I'm talking about doing something, not just signing a resolution. So that's my motivation to send it to committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm fine with sending this, with signing on to this and sending it on as is right now. But I also think that there is a place for us to take this further, work on trying to get aligned with our state delegation and see if we can do things to amplify our voice, because we are at the tip of things on the coastal community and it is a pressing issue. But I'm fine with sending this along as it is, because this is not binding anybody. This is not telling our delegation anything they don't already know. But I'm fine with reinforcing that message to them that this is important to us, because it is important to us. But I do think beyond that, as what the at-large counselor is saying about what we should be doing as a body, I don't think we need to put this in committee to get there, but I do think that's something that we have to do. So in that sense, I agree with her that we do need to try and do what we can to amplify this message as well and see what we can turn it into results.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilor Peterson?
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to say that this is a first step. This is laying the foundation. We're doing a lot of great work in CERC, and there will certainly be a lot more coming. I don't know if that will change people's minds about sort of sending this forward as a way to lay the foundation that this is something that's really important to us. And as you've indicated, I believe before, we've talked about in CERC, that we had them come in last year at some point, I think it was in the summertime, into a committee level meeting, and we've talked about bringing them in even to the council, for a shorter presentation to talk about things. There are some incredible experts on that committee, and I just want to reinforce that there's been some really intense work that's gone into this. And a lot of great public comment from experts across the city, and it's really been kind of like vetted. So I'm very comfortable sending it on. That's my time.
Any further discussion? Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. We as a city all experience what's going on with, rising tides, flooding and all that. And, my neighborhood, my ward, is firsthand in all of that. And I totally wholeheartedly agree with everything that's in here, but the only thing I would like to see, and I would entertain just a brief discussion on this, because I really don't think it needs to go to committee, but my issue with it is the first four whereases. Is because when you start out, it's a resolution from the city of Salem to our delegation, and so it should start with the city of Salem has already taken action. I think it's great that, I don't think we should be referencing in a resolution midterm elections, because that's at a federal level, so that has nothing to do with us. I don't think that we should, the Paris Accord and Poland pulling out, what does that have to do with us? I mean, I think if you break it down, basically what we're saying is we as a community, and a lot of us have been in this room for those discussions, have taken the forefront in the North Shore and for our city to move green initiatives forward. And when you look at this resolution, if you take out the first I like the third whereas, but it kind of fits in with the four. So if you just take out the first top of it and you start with the whereas the city of Salem, it basically identifies the fact that the city of Salem has been at the forefront of a lot of this, and we agree wholeheartedly with some sort of green deal. Like, the Congress can't even make up their mind on what a new green deal is at this point. But I think that we as, was to start there, and we were saying, hey, as a city, we already do this stuff at the local level, because we realize how important it is at the local level. And we want you as a delegation to realize, listen, we've started at what we can control at our level. You need to step up and do this other stuff. But I don't think that we should reference the other stuff, because we have no control over that. I mean, the Paris Accord, yeah, I mean, was it a shame? Yes, but I mean, what do we have to say about that? And the fact that it's referenced in a resolution from us, I'm very fond of saying we got to stay in our lane. And on this one, our lane is, what can we do as a city? We're doing it. What is our recommendation? Our recommendation to the greater bodies above us that have more power and control over these things would be, listen, at our local level, we're doing as much as we can every day to promote this, because we witness it firsthand, because we are a coastal community and we understand this. But for me, the first four whereases, because they do reference, political things, and they reference, stuff at this federal level and beyond, that I just think that, if we break it down to what the intent is, the intent goes back to, hey, we're Salem, we're doing this. This is what we've done, this is how we've been dealing with it, this is what we want you to do. We want you to, and figure out how to do it at the the highest levels in order to achieve this, because we are the ones being affected this, first and foremost. So I'd open up. I mean, if this doesn't want to go to committee, I respect all the work that the Resiliency Committee is doing, and I've been here, I've taken all these votes, but that everything that's talked about in the bottom, I've been there, for all those votes. For me, when I look at this resolution, I think it's great what its intent is, but I think we're trying to overstep ourselves when we're referencing things that we had no control over. Let's start it out with a reference of what we did, what we've been doing, what we continue to do, and what we want you to do, what we want at the national level. So I have no problem. If the will is to leave them in, I'll leave them in. But for me, if I think that, I can't speak for everyone in the room, but I think if we were to eliminate the first four whereases and just leave it as a resolution based on the facts of what we've been doing, I think we'll get 100%. I'd have to ask the good at-large council, but I think we get 100% support for this, because, I think it's about, as I always very fond to say, is staying in your lane. Our lane is what we control in the city of Salem, and we've been doing that for a lot of years. And as was referenced in here, we've been a leader on the North Shore doing this stuff. We're recognized for it. I want to continue to be recognized for that. But let's, highlight what we've been doing in the resolution and pass it on to the state and federal delegations and beyond. Say, listen, we're the guys in the front lines here. We've been doing this in our little corner of the world. You guys need to figure it out. So that would be my only recommendation. Then I'll yield the floor to whatever other discussions there may be about this.
Any further discussion? Council Sergeant.
Thank you, Mr. President. I agree with Council McCarthy as far as eliminating that part, but also references to the Green New Deal. That's a catchphrase. There's a lot going on. When we were asked to support after 9/11 the Patriot Act, very large document which I never had a chance to read. I don't think every congressman and senator got a chance to read it. They had aides to read it. And I would reluctant to get involved in federal issues. I don't think the federal government is waiting with bated breath for our opinion on some of the things they do. And we elect them to do that job. And we have our opinions, and we can get them to them. But the Patriot Act was a document we could look at and we could read. The Green New Deal is an idea. Even to the point where Congress recently had a vote on it, and the Democrats all voted present because they felt like they're being forced, as I see it, as I saw it on TV, they're being forced to make a vote on something just to make a point. And most of them mentioned that it's not a document yet, it's an idea. So we don't know. If we vote for supporting of the Green New Deal, and a year from now it's a document that we voted to support, we voted for it before the fact. Imagine making a decision on any case before you know all the facts and you have the documents in front of you. So I don't think we should be dealing with anything that has to do with something that Congress is still working on putting together. So So to me, I could support what we would like them to do more vaguely as far as things that we've already done, support climate change, support all that kind of thing going forward to help deal with climate change and rising sea levels and all that, because we are a coastal community. But I think we're getting, the Green New Deal evokes kind of a political opinion for an idea, and I think it's a little bit controversial yet. Nobody has any idea what it's going to affect and how much it's going to cost. So I don't feel like the city of Salem should go on record as supporting the Green New Deal. Green initiative's fine, but that reference to the Green New Deal I don't think is proper for us right now.
Any further discussion? Council Fury?
Councilor Dibble, please.
Thank you, President. I'd have to agree with Council Fiore's comments earlier that we need to get this done, that we should send a message. I'd like to thank Jeff and the CERT committee for bringing this forward. This is a good thing. I'd agreed also with the Ward 1 councilor that the first 4 topics here, I have reservations on as well. If this document simply didn't reference the Green New Deal, but referenced everything else that it's talking about in here, I would be supporting this tonight. It's quite clear. I'd like to see this go to committee and have a very minor change to this. I hadn't thought about deleting the first 4 whereases. Maybe that makes sense. But further down, we also reference the Green New Deal. Now, as I understand it, the Green New Deal hasn't been really been designed yet, so we don't know what it is, but we're being asked to support something on the record that hasn't been crafted yet. I can't support something I don't even know what it is, because nobody else knows what it is. So nobody in this room knows what the Green New Deal is. And I believe every Democrat in the U.S. Congress voted present when this came forward. So if it's good enough for them to vote present, unfortunately, I'm going to vote present tonight if the Green New Deal wording is still in here, that we're being asked to support something that I don't know what it is. But everything else in this text I think is beautifully written, and I agree wholeheartedly with. So I'd like to see this go to committee, make some very minor changes to this. Very, very minor, Mr. President. And simply, I was asking for the Green New Deal to be deleted. Councilor from the Ward 1 councilor suggested a little bit more than that here, and I think I would agree with him on that, but I'd like to reread these again. I've read the whole document twice now. So with that, to the CERT committee, I'm in full support of what you do, and to the liaison, thank you for bringing it forward. But I think that we need to tweak this very, very small changes and get this right back to us for approval, because Council President Fury, I agree with, this needs to happen fast. So let's get this to committee, let's make the minor changes to this, whatever they be, and get it right back, and I think all of us can support it at that point. Thank you. Councilor Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple of clarifying points for everyone. I don't know if the Ward 1 councilor is making a friendly amendment, but I would accept that if that is a friendly amendment he's making tonight. The other thing that I want to clarify is that it is nowhere in this document is it saying the Green New Deal, it's saying a Green New Deal. It's not tying it to any specific idea. And in light of the comments that were made tonight, I would also, I don't know if I have to entertain it from someone else or if I can make the amendment, but to keep the wording as it is, but make it not be capitalized, I think might make it more in line with what the good-at-large councilor was saying in terms of making it more generic. So those are 2 things I would throw out.
I'll move those 2 changes.
Second. Okay, any further discussion? Councilor Milo.
Oh, sorry.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you. My original discussion relative to the whereases, I make that as a motion to remove.
Second.
Councilor Milo. Oh.
No, I'm...
Under discussion. There being none.
This is just on the deleting.
Councilor Sargent.
This is deleting the first 4 paragraphs,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. On Councilor McCarthy's motion, seconded by Councilor Terrio, to delete the first 4 paragraphs, starting with whereas on each of the 4. All those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Counselor Milo.
We have the second, we have the other amendment.
I'm sorry?
We have the other amendment to remove the cap from, to remove the capitalization.
On Counselor Peterson's,
I seconded.
Yeah.
on Counselor's motion to remove the capitals from Green New Deal. Is that all? Seconded by Counselor Turiel.
Under discussion?
Under discussion. Counselor Sargent.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's clear to the whole country what anything reference Green New Deal, whether it's I think Green New Deal is pretty notable, especially when we have the first paragraph recognizing the congresswoman who brought it forward, and Senator Markey. So to me, if we can replace Green New Deal with some kind of, with Green Initiative, something that just doesn't mention Green New Deal, whether it's capitals or small letters, but I can't. At this point, it's still a document that's not created yet that will be in our support if it says a Green New Deal in there. So, thank you. I make a motion that we eliminate Green New Deal and replace it with something that's okay with the council. I suggest Green Initiative.
Counsel McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. The fact that we just took a vote to remove the first four whereases basically removes the fact that it references the Green New Deal as proposed at the federal level that was voted present on by everyone. So the fact that we've taken in the document, taken a Green New Deal and put it in lower is doing effectively what he says, but just using the same terminology. So I don't think for me personally, I don't have an issue with it. So I would support the change to a Green New Deal in lowercase letters, because the reference to the federal issue with the Green New Deal was just removed.
Any further discussion?
I know what it is.
We have to vote on the other amendment.
Counsel Fury.
Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd have to agree with the at-large counselor across the way, and I'm disappointed we're at this point by simply removing from the last paragraph on the first page the Green New Deal and replacing it with something that the good Ward 3 counselor would find appropriate. Simply lowering the case to smaller case, it's still there, the Green New Deal. It's still there, whether it's capital or not. I like it less being capital, but if we just put something in there generic, that's something I can afford. I can support and vote for tonight, and I would like to vote in support of this. But if it's referencing the Green New Deal,
It's not.
I can't support that. So if we can come up with a word or two to replace that, I'm okay with that, and I'll vote for it tonight. Otherwise, I'm voting present, or let's put it into committee and make that minor change, which we're almost there. If we change the Green New Deal lowercase in that last paragraph in the first sentence, I think we can get this thing approved tonight, possibly. Well, I think we can.
There's one more spot on the top of the second page.
Councilor Sargent.
There's another section, but to me, my motion is to replace anything that says Green New Deal with Green Initiative.
Reasonable. Thank you. Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. We already have the Green New Deal out of it because it says a Green New Deal, but, and if we haven't voted yet on whether to accept the amendment to put it in lowercase, but if we do that, I think that's more than sufficient as far as getting the message across. So I would support the change to, to take the capital letters out of Green New Deal in the last paragraph on page 15 and the first on page 16, and basically be done with it.
Thank you. Councilor Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. If I may, through you to the Ward 3 counselor, what's the significance of Green New Deal, and why is it so important that it has to be in there and be in lowercase? And why wouldn't green initiatives serve the same purpose? I'm just curious, that's all, because it seems like the sticking point for everybody is Green New Deal, or, a hybrid, or a kind of general piece of language there. And we've been debating it for an awfully long time. And I'm just kind of curious as to where everybody stands and why it's so important to some people to have Green New Deal, uppercase, lowercase, in between case in there, or not.
Green Initiative.
So if I may, through you.
Councilor Peterson.
Oh, Sure. Thank you, Mr. President. Through you to my colleagues. I think it's important in the sense that, and especially if we pull back and make it lowercase, and sort of pulls it back from any politicization of it, because I think that, but not in the historical sense. And I think that's the really important part of this. This is not about just an initiative. This is about an overhaul, and that's really what I'm looking for. This is serious. I think that's the weight that I want it to carry, is that that we're at a serious crossroads. This is not just about like putting in some different initiatives. This is about like a new, we need to really step back and look at this in a serious way from the federal level. So that's where it comes from for me.
Thank you. Any further discussion? We had a motion by Council Sargent to replace the wording in two spots or anywhere it says to replace the wording of Green New Deal to Green Initiative, but I don't know if we had to second it.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Flynn. Okay, we got two motions here for us. One to reduce the capital letters to lowercase, and one to switch the wording from Green New Deal to Green Initiative. Madam City Clerk, can you clarify which do we take up first?
Last.
The last one, thank you. Thank you, Councilor Kathy. Okay, under the friendly amendment by Councilor Sargent, seconded by Councilor Flynn, to change the wording in the document that says Green New Deal to Green Initiative. All those in favor? Opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
Not carried.
The matter does not carry. Okay. On the motion by Councilor Peterson, seconded by Councilor Turiel, to switch the switch the Green New Deal uppercase letters to lowercase letters in everywhere it sits in the document. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Present.
Present. The ayes have it. Council Sergeant.
How many ayes were
there? Was
7.
I'm sorry, Council Milo?
Thank you, Mr. President. Point of order.
Yes.
That was a hand count vote. It wasn't a roll call vote. So it doesn't matter who said what or how many or whatever.
Thank you.
You're the president. You call the vote.
Thank you. The ayes had it. Under discussion, Council Sergeant?
Please.
Do you have another matter?
No discussion.
Any further discussion? Council Milo?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm sorry. I mean, we might as well go the full route on this. I know that we're petitioning the federal government, but can you add a line in here to petition our state delegation as well, while we're at it?
Where would you like it to be added?
I'll defer to the Ward 3 counselor if she thinks that's appropriate.
Council Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would accept a friendly amendment to add that to the last resolved, where it says that the city clerk hereby will forward suitably engrossed copies of this resolution to Rep. Seth Moulton and our state delegation. If we can name them too, and on behalf of the entire Salem City Council.
Might as well.
Okay, we have a motion on the Council Turiel.
Thank you. Given what the at-large counselor just suggested, I believe there's one more thing that we could add to this, to the top paragraph on page 16, to simply after congressional delegation and state delegation.
Correct. Second.
So we should add that as well as, I offer that as a friendly amendment if the Ward 3 counselor would accept it, or...
I accept it.
Okay, under the friendly amendment by Council Turiel, seconded by Council McCarthy. All those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Councilor Milo had made a motion, and I think it spoke to Councilor Milo. Did that last motion speak to your issue or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your motion was not seconded. I was trying to bring that forward.
She
So we don't
accepted it as
have to bring that forward.
She accepted it as a friendly amendment.
Yeah, but it was not, doesn't have to be. Thank you. The matter is, I believe the matter is addressed now, is that correct? Councilor Milo?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, I would move for adoption as amended.
Okay.
I don't know what the original motion was, but that's the one I would look for now.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a second? Second by Councilor Turiel. Under the motion by Councilor Myler, seconded by Councilor Turiel, that the matter be adopted as amended. All those in favor? Opposed?
Opposed.
The matter carries. Committee reports. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, April 11, 2019. The Committee on License, Orders, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of granting certain licenses tag days, has considered the matter and recommend the following licenses be granted. Tag days, Salem High School, ROTC, June 16th, 22nd, 30th, and 2019.
On the acceptance of the report, all those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. Councilor McCarthy.
No further discussion.
On the adoption of the recommendation, under discussion?
No further discussion.
Any further discussion? There being none, on Councilor McCarthy's motion, all those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Further committee reports. Councilor Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, April 11, 2019. The Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted with Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of fees and usage policies of municipally controlled meeting spaces in Salem, has considered said matter and would recommend the matter remain in committee, and I move that we accept the report.
On the acceptance of the report, all in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. On the adoption of the recommendation, Councilor Peterson. Under discussion.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. We had a great meeting the other day, a week ago, on this matter, and we had directors from each of the different departments here that manage and control the municipally controlled spaces. There were a couple people that couldn't be here, and then there were some follow-up questions that came out of the discussion that were really great, and I'm pursuing those questions now, and hoping that before too long we'll have something to bring forward to the council.
Any further discussion? There being none, on Councilor Peterson's recommendation for adoption, all those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Communications from city officials, none.
That should say petitions.
Yes. Further petition, or petitions.
We have requests from the Multi-Faith Festival to hold their festival and use the city streets running between number 1 to number 13 Hawthorne Boulevard on July 4th, 2019.
Kathy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that it be granted.
Under discussion?
I guess my question would be, is it, in reference to the letter, it says this is their third year. Is this a, I don't recall this being the third year in this location?
First year.
I don't know. Under further discussion, Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. This has been held 2 previous years, but it was held on Federal Street by the church on Federal Street, Federal and Washington. This year, they proposed to move it to Hawthorne Boulevard and hold it in conjunction with our July 4th festivities as a adjunct to that. So it was the previous 2 editions were held in, I believe, early June.
Any further discussion? Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Seeing how they're decided to move the festival into my ward, and I guess my questions would be to the organizer, and I see that one of them happens to be, I'm going to just call him Fuzzy because I can never pronounce his last name. I guess my question would be is, whom did he talk to in the police department? And I mean, that 4th of July down in that area is extremely busy, and I appreciate them adding another element to it, but I just want to make sure that they have, you know, it's nice to say that we're going to notify the businesses. I mean, most of them are closed on the 4th of July. There's at least 4 homes on that section of the boulevard that would be, they say they're not going to block the street, but there's going to be a festival there, so they're going to be inconvenienced getting into and from their homes on a holiday. So I guess my question would be is what sort of arrangements did they talk over with the police department relative to, I mean, it references, really, we're working with the mayor's office and Alan Tarkowski, but I mean, I wasn't present at the event when it happened on Federal Street, so I don't know what kind of police presence they had, and are we equipped to have, I mean, it seems like a very benign type of festival. I'm not sure that they actually need any, but if they had that conversation with the police department, because now we're going to close a street effectively, even though they're not going to block it. And I guess my question would be, why this location and why this timing? So if I can, I don't want to get into a huge discussion about this, but since they're here, ready to talk about it, I move to waive the rules, suspend the rules to allow Fuzzy and his group to talk about why, where, when, how, and who they talk to in the police department.
Great, thank you. Seeing no objection. Laws?
I'm Mike Bodo, 16 Cabot Street, member of Tabernacle Church, also co-chair of the Multi-Faith Festival. Thank you, Counselor. This is the third year we're having it. The first time we're having it attempting to have it in conjunction with the city's events on July 4th. We've notified the police department. We're waiting to hear back from the police department, Lieutenant Przewski. In the past 2 years, we hired one.
Stucker, actually, it's not Przewski anymore.
It's retired.
Traffic, it's Stucker.
Stuck. Yeah, it's stuck. Okay. We've hired one police detail each time we had it in our previous location. The idea was because we are an organization that represents all faiths, and one of the best things about this country that we believe in is our religious freedom. And the idea to bring it to July 4th made a lot of sense to us because it's probably the best ideal that we have as a country. So that's the reason why we're moving it to July 4th.
Actually, it's freedom of religion.
I'm sorry, name and address for the record.
He knew me. I was Abu Shak, Fuzzy 4 Harrison Road.
It's right here.
Yes. It's, the idea of the freedom of religion, which is part of the Constitution and the 4th of July. And this is part of it, being so many religions getting together to show it. The police department did not have a problem, or the mayor's office, because that area is closed for the 4th of July anyways. Because they close, but by 4 o'clock. So it's not like we're not adding any burden. We just want to make sure, like we did on Federal Street, that we informed all the people in the area and the tenant, and make sure that we do not block or. Oh, sorry, you want to ask?
No.
Oh, okay. So, and we're not gonna be actually on the street. We're gonna be on the green next to it. So there will be place for emergency vehicles and everything. And we start at 1. And the festivities, the major festivities of the 4th of July, that area doesn't start till like 4 o'clock. So it's kind of like a continuation of the whole festivity without any conflict with the traffic or with the people or with the businesses, etc. Because they're still going to be open and they're still going to be able to maneuver with or without us. So the closure is not really a real closure, it's for us. It's a closure in that whole area of Derby Street and Hawthorne anyways for the 4th of July.
Councilor McCarthy.
Sam, I just raised my hand to get his attention that I wanted to talk.
Oh, okay.
So I have to do that. Thank you. I don't have a problem with this at all. I guess from what was just stated would be, I would prefer that we table this until Lieutenant Tucker gives us his recommendation, because we don't have because usually when you have something like this, there's the second page to it, there's a police recommendation relative to whether it's a road race or an event or a parade or whatever it is. And there wasn't one, so I was just wondering, that was more the question of, I'm all for the festival. I mean, it's just that I just want to make sure that it works as stated in conjunction with everything else that's going down there. And I would prefer to see a police letter with it, saying that they've reviewed, had a conversation with these gentlemen relative to what they're trying to do and how they're going to operate, and make sure everyone's on the same page, and then I have no problem supporting this. It would just be, that would be my question, because I want to make sure that Lieutenant Tucker actually has, they say they've reached out to him. I would prefer that they actually have that conversation, whether it's in person, via email, over the phone, and that Lieutenant Tucker gets a piece of paper back to us saying, I've had a conversation, I agreed with what their concerns are, and it should be X amount of details or whatever it is, or maybe they say they don't need any details, because as they've stated, the road's already closed, so I don't know. But I will...
We do hire a detail for the street anyways, and Ellen is the one who suggested this, so
That's fine, but until I get something from the police department, so...
The Ward 1 council raised a good point. I'm wondering, because this is way forward in July 4th, would delaying this and table this matter for 2 weeks to get the police department's recommendation or any conditions so that the council can vote on that, would that interrupt your schedule if we voted on this at our next meeting?
No, it doesn't.
No.
Okay, Council Fury.
Mr. President, I think it was an ideal location, sincerely, ideal location. You couldn't ask for a better location. What's going to happen at 9 o'clock on Salem Common is the recitation of independence. What more moving occasion to recite the Declaration of Independence? Many of us attend the Declaration of Independence on July 4th on the Common, and then they move up quietly on a beautiful site with the Immaculate Conception Church right there. I think it's the best site in the world, and I hope it works out very well. Win-win for the city of Salem, win-win for the neighborhood, I think. I think a lot of those people that are living along the way probably be gone. And that's an ideal location. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Council Terrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think this is a really good location for it, but I do agree that we should hold this to the next meeting until they've had a chance to get the recommendation back from Lieutenant Tucker. So I will make a motion that we hold this till the next meeting.
Pending the recommendation?
Pending the recommendation from the traffic lieutenant.
Is there a second? Second by Council Dominguez. Okay, on the recommendation by Council Terrio, seconded by Council Dominguez, that we hold this until the next meeting to get an opinion from the police department or any conditions from the police department. All those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, gentlemen. Further petitions.
We have a request from Woodlands Realty Trust to name the new streets on the subdivision located off of Clark Avenue to Woodlands Road and South Ridge Circle. First of the ordinance, chapter 48.
Council Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this be granted.
Under discussion?
Yes. So I'm not sure if my colleagues are fully aware of what's going on down there, but there's been this long time now, a couple of years, this subdivision has been happening, and I don't have any problem with renaming the roads, but I just want to sort of give a shout out to the neighborhood. They've been under a lot of duress, and I'm hoping that this is with the blasting and rock crushing and everything. So I'm hoping that this is just one step toward their peaceful life coming back around again. So thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none. Under Councilor Peterson's motion that the matter be granted. All those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. Further petitions.
We have a request from residents of Salem Street to hold a block party July 6, 2019 from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that this be held over until the next meeting.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. This block party has been an event that's been held the last couple of years, but I just want to make sure that the new traffic director, Lieutenant Tucker, has had a chance to review this and to talk to the residents. In the past, we've had it's a wonderful event. They set up bouncy houses and they do all sorts of things, but we just have to make sure that it's the same organizers to make sure that they are going to set up in accordance with, they still have to leave the street passable. And my only other question would be, a block party from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. is closing the city street for a long period of time. Maybe that we can, I understand 7 a.m. to make sure you get the cars off the street to set up. 11 p.m. at night, I just make sure that the traffic officers had a chance to talk to the organizers. I think in the years past, the time frame has been a little shorter, so I just want to make sure that where Lieutenant Tucker is new to that position, make sure that A, he's aware of it, and B, that it, to see if there was any, I don't recall any incidences from last year, but just to make sure that the organizers are aware of how they have to be set up in order to allow safety personnel to traverse the street. So I don't have a problem with it. I just want to make sure that Lieutenant Tucker has the opportunity to have a conversation with the organizers, and I'll work with the city clerk's office to get the information of who applied for it and get that off to Lieutenant Tucker to make sure he can have that initial outreach with them to make sure everything's on board.
Any further discussion? There being none, on Councilman McCarthy's recommendation that the matter be held to the next meeting pending the police department recommendation and conditions, if any. All those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Further petitions.
We have a list of license applications for public guides, C-worms, taxi cab limos, and taxi operators and vehicle for hire operators only.
Councilman McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that they be granted.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
Any further discussion? There being none, on Councilman McCarthy's recommendation that they be granted, all those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Further petitions.
We have one tag day license application.
Councilman McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that it be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
Any further discussion? There being none, on Councilor McCarthy's recommendation that the matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs, all those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. Further petitions.
We have the following 3 drain layer contract operator license applications.
Councilman McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that it be granted.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
Further discussion? There being none, on Councilman McCarthy's motion that the matter be granted, all those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. Unfinished business, none. Councilor Fiore.
If I may, a point of personal privilege there, if I may, we wish to wish Councilor Toro a happy birthday. Taking away his birthday.
Couldn't think of a better place to
Public
spend it.
servant being here. Thank you very much, and we wish you a very, very happy birthday in many years to come. For your wife and your son. Thank you.
Here, here, happy birthday. Any further matters? There being none. Councilor Fiore.
A motion to adjourn, Mr. President.
Motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned.